is CBS 11 News Now.
And a good afternoon once again to everyone joining us here for this News Now digital update. I'm Ken Molestina. We are live here on Facebook Live, coming to you from our studios here in Fort Worth. I want to update you on a story that we're working on having to do with a reaction to the shooting that took place. The officer involved, rather the line of duty death for a Richardson police officer. We learned again earlier today that the officer's name is David Sherrard. That came from the chief of police. He let us know earlier today during a news conference. He's a 14-year veteran. He's got a wife, leaves behind a wife and two daughters. Certainly a story that we first told you about last night, a story that has really captivated so many people wishing prayers and thoughts for this family, for this law enforcement community, this investigation now tries to get to the bottom of why this happened, how all of this happened. We know that Plano PD has taken over this investigation. This is the first Richardson police officer to be killed in that department's history. And we're told that the suspect, the shooting suspect in all of this, Brandon D. McCall, was arrested. He's being charged with capital murder. Also today, they identified the name of the second victim who was killed in all of this. Renee Gamez was the second person who was found dead there at the apartments. We understand from police that officers were initially responding to this call for help for Mr. Gamez when they themselves came under fire. And again, that is a look from earlier today, a memorial already starting to pop up there at Richardson Police Headquarters. Another scene, aerial look from what the scene looked like last night over the Breckenridge Apartments in Richardson. Again, a story that we've got a crew of reporters working on right now, and we're going to have more for you on that later on in our newscasts. Governor Abbott, Texas Governor Greg Abbott, also had responded to this event. He had a news conference earlier today, and he spoke a little bit about this. Here are his words. Have a listen.
When I arrived in Dallas today, I wanted to take another trip before coming here, and that was to take a trip to go visit with the police department in Richardson, Texas. I had the opportunity to visit with the police chief and the mayor privately first, talk about the challenges that they are dealing with, the fact that this is the first time that one of their officers has been lost in the line of duty. And then I had the opportunity to speak with the force who was there at the building at the time, and to express how our hearts are broken like their hearts are broken. We stand shoulder to shoulder with them as they face this challenge. I wanted them to know that they have a state and a people who has their back, who strongly supports them. We'll do whatever we can to assist them in these challenging times. And I presented the Richardson police chief with a flag that had been flown over the Capitol. And I asked that he provide that to the family as a way of demonstrating the ongoing legacy that the officer has in the state of Texas, and the eternal gratitude the state of Texas has for him and their entire police force. We wouldn't be here talking about what we're talking about here today, talking about new ways that we're going to be cracking down on criminal activity in this state, if it weren't for the robust support that we have from our police force. And speaking on behalf of all Texans, I want to express my gratitude for every man and woman who wears the uniform of our law enforcement, and express my sorrow on behalf of the people of this state for the officer who was lost in the line of duty. May your prayers remain with his family and with the Richardson police force as they piece their lives back together, knowing that they will come back better and stronger than ever before, just like Texas always does.
And again, that was the message of condolence being shared by Texas Governor Greg Abbott just a little bit over an hour ago as he spoke to a room of reporters and held a news conference where he addressed this investigation. We unfortunately find ourselves in the situation now where we are once again reporting on just a devastating series of events that has resulted in the death of two people. One of them, of course, you know by now, Richardson police officer David Sherrard. And again, we've got a team of reporters working all different angles into the story about the officer himself, who this shooter is, why maybe this happened, and maybe what so far investigators have been able to find preliminarily as they go down a very sort of extensive road in this investigation. But as you can tell from what the governor just said and some of the condolences that he expressed, this is certainly a devastating time for the law enforcement community, both here locally in North Texas, obviously in Richardson, and across the state. So this is, again, something that we're going to be reporting on throughout the day for you. We're going to have a lot more for you a little later on. Another big story that we're keeping an eye on here, of course, the flu season. It is hitting North Texas. We have learned of 2 more flu deaths in our area. 27-year-old Jeremy Westerman of Collin County, he died in early January. The medical examiner just ruled that influenza was the cause of his death. So we just heard that earlier today. Also, 58-year-old Angie Barweiss of Fort Worth, she died on Saturday from the flu, we're told. We're going to have reports on these 2 victims in our newscast later on this afternoon. All of that starts at 4 o'clock, and there are now more than 100 flu-related deaths in North Texas. Here's a map of sort of the numbers that we've been able to draw up for you. 60 of those deaths are already in Dallas County. 24 people have died in Tarrant County, 14 in Collin County, and 7 in Denton County. So certainly a very serious situation that we were expecting the flu season to peak. We have not gotten any official word that it has already peaked, but as you can see from those numbers and some of the information that we're getting in here today, this is still very much a very active and unfortunately very deadly flu season for so many folks, for so many communities here throughout North Texas. Let's get to a couple of comments coming in here on Facebook Live. I'm going to look down on my phone. Just bear with me here. I want to say Roseanne Smith saying hello from Little Rock. Hello, Roseanne. Also, let's see here. Let's just go through some of these comments here. Mary Vanderwood saying, my heart goes out to the families of both victims. Mary's talking about the officer killed up in Richardson and that second victim, Renee Gamez. The 2 victims shot and killed last night as a result of a gunman, an active shooter situation that took place at the Breckenridge Apartments in Richardson. Thank you, Mary, for that comment. Let's see here. Let's see if we can get to a couple of other ones. Yeah, a lot of prayers. Becky Ornelas praying for the family as well. So obviously a lot of people out there who are feeling, who are also sort of mourning that officer's death, and as well as that other civilian, Mr. Gamez, Renee Gamez, who again, the 2 deaths as a result of this active shooter situation there at those apartments up in Richardson. All right, folks, that's going to do it for us for now. That's just a quick look at a couple of stories that we're working on for you. We're going to have a whole lot more, obviously, coming up at 4 o'clock throughout our newscast throughout the early evening into 10 o'clock. But in the meantime, in between these gaps, we like to do these Facebook Live broadcasts with you, talk with you, and just kind of share with you some of the details and some of the information that we've been able to gather on some of the big stories throughout the day. So thank you very much for participating, for tuning in, and for chatting with us. But for the very latest, be sure to check out our website, cbsdfw.com. You can also check out all of our social media platforms. We will keep you posted with up-to-the-minute information there as well. But for this News Now, we say goodbye, and we will talk to you soon.